Welcome to the You Change podcast. My name is Kate Barron. This is the podcast where I talk to models, actors, comedians, and industry professionals about moments in their life that have changed them and changed their path. And today I'm here talking with the lovely, wonderful sports presenter, reality TV star, actor, model, everything, Amy Christopher. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Is it Christopher or Christopher's?
Christopher's.
It's Christopher's. Fuck,
Yeah.
I knew that. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Amy Christopher's. I did know that. How are you doing? You're
I'm good. I'm a bit hungover because I went to see a show last night, which you were excellent in.
Thank you for coming. I love that you came. I felt so supported in that room last night, and it was just really, really lovely that you guys all showed up. And like, I could just feel the love in the room, and it was the nicest
There was so
feeling.
much love. Yeah.
There was so much love in that room.
I never thought that I would go to a comedy show and end up crying though.
Yeah.
You shared really personal things.
We get deep.
Yeah, it was
and
very
tonight's
deep.
the last performance I'm ever doing of it live. But it's recorded, so we're going to get it out on streaming things. But yeah. But enough about me.
Get it on Netflix.
How you doing? So you are just in London for briefly visiting because you've left London. You're in Wales now.
Cornwall.
Isn't Cornwall Wales?
No. Cornwall.
Wait, is Cornwall not in Wales? Am I that dumb?
Wales is a country.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cornwall. Well,
I thought
technically.
Cornwall was a city in Wales.
No, that's Cardiff.
Cardiff. Oh my God, I am getting Cardiff and Cornwall. Oh my God, I'm so... This is why people think I'm American, because I don't know geography and I'm dumb as fuck.
I mean, I'm not very good at
Wait,
geography.
okay, so you're in Oh my God, I've literally been like, I'm so excited for her to come on. She lives in Wales, where she's coming in. She's going to do the podcast. I'm such a fucking idiot.
It was called Sad Their Jackets. That's my best Welsh impression. So yeah, if you've
Cornwall.
got England, you know, like you've got like the foot bit.
Yeah.
That's where Cornwall is.
Right,
And
it's all the
literally-
nice beachfront and like the cliffs and everything,
literally
right?
just beaches, yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Well, welcome. I'm so excited.
If you want to come to Cornwall,
Yeah, I
I will
do.
show you around, and then you'll never forget it.
I will not forget it. You know, it's because I travel a lot in the country, but I only do it where I have gigs.
Yeah.
So I only go to places I have gigs in because that's just what my days are filled up with. And I've never gigged in Cornwall. So I need to book something, get out there, and come early and like actually properly see it. Because now that you're saying it, I can like picture it in my head. Isn't that like I'm picturing, did you ever watch Broadchurch, that show?
No.
Oh, it was a TV show. It was like a murder mystery TV show with Olivia Colman. Oh my God, she's amazing. It's a really good series. It's like 3 seasons. And it's so good. But I think it takes place in like Cornwall because it's like the cliffs and it's all beach and it's beautiful. It's about a little boy dying. So it's less, whatever. But like it is really, really good.
Yeah.
But so you are in Cornwall.
Yeah.
And what made you move back to Cornwall?
Well, a number of things, really. I'd been in London for 16 years and just kind of over it. And I got love bombed after maths.
So So to those who don't know, you were on Married at First Sight UK season
1.
Season 1 of the UK.
Technically,
Of the
series
proper,
6.
but it was the one that they properly started doing it.
Yeah, it was the first one that they did it like the Australian
Australian one, which is the one with all the drama and all the hot mess because they make you all live together and everything.
Yeah.
My sister is obsessed with it. And she's like, you have to ask her all these questions. You have to ask her all these Married at First Sight questions. Because she heard that, because you got married to Josh, who was a fucking loser douchebag. And like, he was just, was he not?
Well,
You have to be nice. But he was
I
just,
don't have to be.
No.
I could just,
he was just too young.
Yeah.
He was like a child.
It's just a shame he wasn't really in there for what I was in there for.
Right. You were actually in there.
I literally thought they were giving me my person forever.
You really thought like this was your person, you were gonna find the person you loved, and this would be the coolest story of how you two met, because it has worked before for some couples. Not a lot, but it has.
And because I was so open to it, I was like, well, yeah, like it's a given. They're coming in for the same reason, so why wouldn't it work, you know? But yeah, it just...
And you were like, you've experienced a little bit more life, you're a little bit older, and then he came in and he seemed very like young, gym bro-y, just kind of like there for a good time. And right away though, people were going, this doesn't seem... Like, I remember watching it going, what are they doing here? Like, they're even at the beginning, they don't seem like a fit.
But he's very mature and I'm very immature. So,
do you think you are?
So I think like we actually like leveled each other out a bit. Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys still talk?
No, he blocked me.
Did he?
Yeah.
So let's talk shit about him.
I know. I still can't talk shit about him. Like,
no, that's fair.
Because like I still do care about him and I would like him back in my life, but like to some capacity. But
that's nice.
Yeah.
That is really nice of you to say.
He hates me, so that's that.
Why do you think he hates you? Or has he told you?
No. Basically, we were on a live. Well, I integrated his and Ant's live on my birthday, and I was just basically on there like, it's my birthday, and you haven't even wished me a happy birthday, you prick. Like,
oh, yeah. Just like talking shit and whatever.
And then I was just like, I protected you throughout the maths experience. I had your back. Like, and I was just literally laying into him. And I'm drunk. I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, of course,
And then the next morning I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm blocked. Oh, shit.
Oh,
like,
okay. So it was just like a stupid drunken thing.
But I was just like, I'd kept a lot of shit in. And like, I still am keeping a lot of things in. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just,
I love your, I mean, I get to be guarded.
But I don't want to.
That experience seems, to me, it's like a fascinating experience because I love watching it. I am a hopeless romantic, so ultimately, I hope they do well. But if they don't do well, I hope they crash and burn so hard. And there's so much drama. The Australian one is great for that. Your season was good for that. Do you, my sister won't let me not ask this, do you guys actually live together in those little apartments that they show us?
Yeah.
You actually are living together in those little tiny flats together.
Oh my God, they're so tiny.
Because she's like, oh, I heard that they go in there and those are their shared flats, but like they actually have separate rooms, they live separately and all that. I'm like, I don't know if that's true.
You're literally living on top of each other.
Who from the season do you still talk to?
Everybody.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, apart from Josh and
Wait, so who else was on that season? That wasn't Morag.
Yeah.
That was the Morag season. What's Morag like in person?
I love Morag.
Do you?
I'm actually seeing her like in a week and a half and taking her to the Six Nations. Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
She's into
cool.
rugby, so I'm covering the women's Six Nations, so I'm taking her with me. So.
Oh, I love that. Okay, well, that's cool that you talk to everyone. Do you regret going on a reality show?
Ooh, it's like...
Because that's like not just a reality show.
Yeah.
Not like you're just like going on The Apprentice or MasterChef. This is like, that's about you. And you were deeply personal on that show. Like you really opened up. And I think that's why I didn't even know you back then. And I was like, oh my God, like she's like seriously opening up here. Like it was beautiful to see how much you were opening up and how much you really wanted it.
That was still me holding back. So like half of me was open and half of me is shut down because I felt I wasn't getting the same back.
Right, yeah,
from
of course.
Josh, so
like any relationship.
But I was like, one foot's in, one foot's out. Like I've still, like I wanted to be there and be vulnerable for the process, but I was like, well, he's not doing that. And even behind closed doors, he wasn't really like opening up. Like we started to a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, like he's finally opening up. And then it was like straight down again. But the annoying thing, like I wouldn't say that I regret it because obviously I've got fabulous friends out of it and things. Yeah. I regret if I could redo that whole process and have Josh again. I would. Like, if I could go back in time and I would do it differently. So I have a question. If Married at First Sight wanted to do a new series of past contestants who hadn't found love, and they're like, give us one more shot so you can find your person, it won't be Josh, it'll be someone new. I would, I would. Would you do it? Yeah. You 100%. Would do it? Yeah. Oh my God, I love that. They could promise me that person was like so open and like really in it. Like whatever it takes, they're gonna make it work. Because I would have, whatever it took, I would have made it work. Yeah. That's what I felt from you. Like you were actually really, really wanting to make it work, and like you actually wanted to. Yeah, just do whatever it takes to do it. Okay, well that is really cool. Is there another reality show you'd go on, or are you like? See, I think I'm done with the dating thing. Like, obviously, if they were going to give me another husband and, like, set for life, that would be great. Yeah. Then, yes, okay, I would do it. So, I think I'd have to do something a bit more, like, skill-based. So, I don't know, like... Right, learn a new skill, or, like Amazing Race or something like that. Oh, what's Amazing Race? So they don't have Amazing Race over here. It's big in the States, and there's one in Canada as well, where basically, like, you go in teams of 2. I actually got asked if I would apply for Amazing Race Canada this year. You go in teams of 2. Say it was us, and we travel... Can we do that in Canada? Yeah, they do it in Canada, right? We could do it. You basically, like, you travel around the world, and you get a clue. They'll fly you to a country, and they'll go, okay, you only have 100 pounds to get you through this next leg of the race, and you have to do competition. So sometimes it's like jump off a building or jump off this thing. Well, yeah, you have to like jump off a building, jump on a planes, eat weird stuff, go to countries. So you're essentially doing a rapid traveling of the world. That sounds like every reality show in one. Like it kind of, but it's this one you actually get to travel, you get to see things. It is quite a cool idea, and they do it in pairs. So often it'll be like
father-daughter team, or like two best friends, or like a married couple or something like that. So then obviously there's interpersonal fights that happen within them, right? There'd be a husband and wife, and he's driving and she's like, here, do this. And he's like, no, it's fine. She goes, you never follow directions. And then they start screaming at each other and having like their own stuff come up. So that adds to the drama. So it's all about who you're paired with as well. Because could you be paired with that person? Could you travel with that person? Can you travel with them? And there have been groups that have like lost their luggage. Do you imagine if you had to travel for 40 days and you only had like the clothes on your back and you can't kind of stop? The whole race is, you have to keep going to these pit stops, and whoever gets there or whoever gets there last gets eliminated at every pit stop.
I'd be eliminated first go.
I feel like I'd be eliminated first go too, but we'd be
like, I've run out of fake tan now, guys. Sorry, I'm leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Yeah, you'd be like half orange.
Like if I ever did the jungle, I'd be like, oh no, you have to.
Would you do the jungle?
Well, they'd have to let me take in moisturizer.
Didn't they let Gemma Collins like take in fake tan and that stuff?
They let Helen Flanagan take fake tan in, so I feel like.
Are you a big fake tanner?
Yes, my God.
That's such a British woman thing to do. Like, that's such like a...
I have fake tan on now and I'm really pale. Like, I'm literally blue without fake tan.
No, you like me. Like, I am...
No, I'm paler than you.
No, there's... No.
No, I am.
No, I'm like transparently
me
pale.
Me too,
okay,
honestly.
well,
like,
yeah. I've just gotten used to it because I've had too many bad experiences. I tried to fake tan and I didn't put it on long enough. And then I went to a bachelorette party and I swam in the pool and I had orange pools behind me and I looked like a fucking hot mess. What are you showing me? Your knuckles? Oh, it's the hands that always show.
Well, it's because of like, I just put like the moisturizing fake tan on.
Can we talk about this
day.
ring? I'm obsessed with this.
Oh.
Where's this from?
It was my engagement ring, but it was a family heirloom, so.
Oh, and you still wear your family or his family?
Yeah, mine.
Your family, okay. So you still wear it as like it's beautiful. Holy shit. So your next engagement ring and your one from your husband is going to have to be like ginormous.
Well, no, do you know, so when I did actually get engaged, I was like really obsessed with like, right, I want this ring, like blah, 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 and whatever. Now, I just think I was so obsessed with how I wanted the wedding to be, rather than like, are you the right person for me?
1000%.
So I did that. Then obviously I did actually get married. And
you got married?
Well, to Josh.
Oh, to Josh, okay. But those aren't. No, okay, now I know. But the Josh wedding isn't a real, right? You have to, the one at the end would be the real if you got,
I feel like, third time lucky, I got engaged, I was...
Do you consider, if somebody asked you, if you started dating someone, they go, how many times have you been married? Would you say twice?
No, so I didn't marry.
You wouldn't actually count. Oh, so you haven't technically been married any times, but you've been engaged twice.
Well, engaged once.
And then
married a stranger.
Married a stranger.
So I just feel like, third time lucky. And honestly, like I wouldn't care like what ring they gave me.
I'm the
as
same.
As long as they're the right person and like however they propose, like you can ask Gina, like I literally told Gina like word for word how I wanted to be proposed to. Like Santorini, this, that and the other, and I was like, yeah, Gina, you just tell him what I want and stuff. So he's there like, oh my God, like, yeah, I've smashed it. And I'm like thinking, I told Gina what I wanted. This is it. But like, you didn't plan this. I planned it. I told Gina what to tell you.
This is the problem though. Sometimes when you get what you want, it isn't actually what you want.
And it was all just for like, I wanted to put it on Instagram and I'm just like, no. Yeah. I want it to be like, well, wherever. It could be like in Cornwall on a beach. Like, I don't care. As long as it's the right person, however they propose to me will be right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's something that I've like really grown from. Like, it's not about impressing people. I don't give a shit. Like, I need to know, is this person actually for me?
They don't live with you on the day to day.
Or do I care what other people think of that person?
Exactly. They're not living with you. They're not with you day to day. They're not the ones. I used to be like you, very concerned. I wanted to post it on Instagram. I wanted to make it all flashy. Even now, my boyfriend, like, he's nowhere on my social media because, one, it's like my social media is for my career, not for my personal life anymore. And I've really realized that.
Yeah, I do know.
But, like, it's more important about him and us. And like I used to want the big flashy thing when I was younger and I wanted the big wedding and all of that and the big elaborate thing. And now I'm just like, no, I would just really want something really intimate and an intimate proposal and something that's about us. I want to be married and I want to have a great partner. I don't want the engagement and I don't want just the photos. I just don't need that huge wedding and I don't need all the craziness that goes with it if it's not the right person.
Exactly.
That's
and a lot of it's like
validation
and stuff as well, isn't it?
Of course
and
it
I think
is.
When you hold it back, so like I can post all day on social media, but people will never know like what my private life's like. Like if I'm dating somebody, I might be single. I mean, the amount of quotes that I share every day, you'd think that I'm having a breakup every single day. But I just see things that are relatable, so then I just post it. But yeah, I love that nobody really knows like what's going on. Like, am I single? Am I seeing somebody? Like, have I got
that's
a boyfriend?
good. You have to keep some of it to yourself. Like,
I am single though, so slide into the DMs, guys.
FYI, slide into her DMs, get her a bigger rock than that. That'd be great. Get you a big sugar daddy, and then they can give me money too. That'd be fantastic.
We're
they
going
can
to some holidays.
Sponsor. Yeah. Let them pay for all of us to go on holiday somewhere. I mean, yeah, I like that. I feel like you seem to me as somebody who's experienced a lot in your personal life. And because of that, you've had a lot of just like growth and obviously change and all of this stuff. So why don't we just get into that? Why don't we talk about this? So it doesn't need to be some huge big thing. Just what is something in your life that has changed, that has sort of altered your path and changed where you've headed?
So I was a glamour model, and
can you explain to me exactly what a glamour model is?
Okay, so page 3, like the lab mags. So like in America and Canada, you got like Playboy, things like that. Like I think some of them are like Hustler and stuff. Is that like porn
Hustler's more like hardcore.
Porn.
Whereas
so not that.
Playboy's more like looking cute.
Yeah,
but like,
so more like that.
Naked.
But like over here, they were like even like take that down a notch, and then you've got like Nuts and Zoo. It was very like Girl Next Door and like not full nudity,
not full nudity,
boobs,
right?
Maybe some like implied, but you'd be like laying down like front on a couch, so it'd just be your bum,
right?
You know? So you'd have nothing on, but you couldn't see everything,
right? Okay.
So that was basically it, and yeah, I did that for 10 years, and that was just like wild, and I just think. From that now, it just seems like such a lifetime ago. Like it's like I look back on that, like my little sister. Like I really like disassociated myself, like from it. And I think I disassociate. Is that even a word?
Yeah, disassociated. Yeah. No. No, you're smart. You're good.
Like, you know when you say something over and over, you're like,
I know, and it doesn't sound right after a while. Yeah.
Yeah, so I disassociate with a lot of things, and like I think that's like a trauma thing as well. Like I just like. Oh,
how old were you when you started doing it?
So.
How does one even get into that?
Well, back in the day, you could do it when you were 16.
Oh!
So I was doing like topless at 16. Now,
16 topless?
And now I look back at those photographers that were like old, like they were like oldish men, and I'm just like, ew, like ew, it makes me shudder. And just like I remember being in Cornwall and like somebody said, oh, like this guy's casting for glamour models and stuff. So I was already doing glamour at that point. This is so random. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. Is so irrelevant to everything. But just thinking about like the creepiness and stuff, and just like how different my career could have been. And then, he basically was like, "Oh, it's not glamour. I'm actually casting for porn." And I was like, "Oh, sliding door moment," you know. And I chose to be like, I'm gonna go. But I'm like, what would have happened if I did that? And then like. Yeah, that could have been a whole different career.
A whole different thing. So you were 16 when you started. That is wild.
Oh, I was 18 when I went to see that
guy. But you started modeling when you were 16 and doing that stuff.
Well, I technically started child modeling. So I was doing like commercial stuff and whatever. And then, I was like, oh, how, like, so the guy had like photographed me like when I was younger, and then I was like, I know it's a bit weird.
Oh, that's
but,
even creepier.
I was like, can I do some underwear ones, like for bridal and stuff? So I was like, and then I was just like, I want to be a page 3 girl.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my
And you
dream.
did that for 10 years.
Yeah, so I did the lab
what was that life like? Like, was it? I mean. Was it like you're living the life? You're a model. You're doing all this stuff. I'm sure everyone was like, "Look at this fucking hot piece of ass."
I would say that I probably like lived like 100 lifetimes, like in those 10 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, I probably did more than people could do in 100 lifetimes in that, because it was
What's
just
the coolest thing that came out of that, or that happened when you were doing that? I mean, I'm sure it's wild party days. Like, just because, were you traveling around the world doing it, or was it mostly in the UK?
Yeah, like traveling the world. So I went to Jamaica to hedonism, which is like a massive swingers resort.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because it's like...
Are you a swinger?
I was then.
Were you really?
Wow, so I just broken up with my first boyfriend that I'd been with like on off 7.5 years.
Yeah.
So I went over there and I was just like...
Fuck it, let's go.
And I was the youngest person there. Like I was 21 and I was just like, oh, but there was like this hot 40-year-old woman and she was like married to like this 35-year-old guy and I was just like, oh, fuck it, win him, right?
Yeah, I mean,
I waited
hey,
till the
there.
end, and then so I was over there like having to shoot like nude stuff and whatever because there's only certain places that you can go to shoot. So yeah, but I'd have to get up at the crack of dawn because obviously you didn't want loads of the nudies in it as well. So you'd have to get up and shoot at sunrise and stuff. And then God, I can't believe I'm telling you this. And then so the penultimate night, I was just like, do you know what? Fuck it. Yeah.
Oh my
why
God.
not? So I've been like, people were like eyeing me up all week and like trying it and stuff, and I'm like, oh no, like, and I just thought I'm never gonna see any of these people ever again. Fuck
No,
it.
yeah.
In for a penny, in for a pound.
Right? I mean,
In
go
for a
for
pounding.
it.
And I was like, I've only been with one. Like, I was like, nah, like, sod it. Yeah, I'm gonna tick off a threesome, and then I think it actually.
I love it. You know what? Maybe a 10-some. Who knows? Who knows how many people were in the room? I actually, you know what? I feel like you do have this sort of like free energy about you, and that you're just kind of like, if somebody presents you with something, you just go, yeah, I'm
like,
in.
I'm like, I'll try anything once. If I like it, I'll do it again.
You're a yes person.
Yeah.
You are a yes person. So 10 years of doing that though, that like, I mean, that is interesting about that moment that you got that porn offer that you didn't take it, because that to me would be very much a sliding doors moment. Do you think if OnlyFans was around back then, you probably would have started doing it?
No, because websites were around then that were basically OnlyFans, and I didn't want to do that.
Right. Okay.
So it's just like, there's already enough stuff of me like out. I don't want to like.
Yeah.
And people can just keep that and record it and stuff. So I was always quite like choosy with what I wanted to do, but.
Do you regret doing it?
I don't regret doing my glamour career,
Okay.
not at all. But like I did do the Babe channels, and I really hated my time doing those. Like,
What are the Babe channels?
So, you know, if you like go up the channels at night. There's daytime as well. So I did daytime, and there's like a girl sprawled out like with her phone, like, "Hey guys, call me." They're talking, like they're genuinely talking to somebody. Like everyone's always like,
real?
are they just like, no? Why would people do that? Like,
I just
of course
assume
people
it's
call. That's how they make the money.
No, but I assume it's some like fat housewife in Cardiff.
Love, yeah.
Yeah. No, I assume it's
doing
someone.
that painting. Oh, I'm well wet.
Yeah. That's literally what I assume, because I genuinely think that's a lot of what they are. The people who work those
lines. There's been sketches about that before.
Right, exactly. And then it's just some like fucking housewife being like, "Shut up." Anyway, baby. Like, and they just go back to that. Tell me more, big boy. I didn't know it was for real.
Yeah.
Oh, so you really were talking, but you regretted that stuff, because that was probably like people were. I mean, men are gross.
Well,
the shit they want,
and like so I have like real like boundaries, like in a relationship or whatever. I do not let a guy call me a bitch, mainly because of Babe Station and the other channels. So like if I was on a phone and then I was like, you can't talk about sex, he'd be like, oh fuck you, you're a fucking slag anyway, you bitch. And like just like, oh, like that's my trigger. I'm like, don't call me a bitch. Like if you could be like, you're a boss ass bitch, I'm like, yeah, I'll own that bitch. I'll own that bitch. But if you're like calling me a bitch to like be nasty,
be derogatory,
and try and put me down, I'm like, no, don't call me a slag, don't call me like, so
I mean, that kind of behavior is that's not an unreasonable boundary for in a relationship or with anyone, a friendship or any kind of relationship, for someone to not call you a bitch aggressively as a put down. I don't think that's out of line at all. I think that's an acceptable, good, healthy boundary to have with somebody. So 10 years of doing that, how do you think it changed you?
Well, I don't know. Like, I just think, like, we were chatting before about, like, the whole, like, pretty privilege thing, wasn't we? Like, I saw one of your clips from your podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, oh, my God, we should talk about pretty privilege. Because I was like...
It's real.
Yeah.
Pretty privilege is very, very real.
I just thought that, like, that was everybody's life.
No, speaking as a formerly fat loser, it definitely was not everyone's life.
Well, now speaking as somebody that can't even get an Uber driver to help me with my suitcase and the thing, I now realise what pretty privilege is. And I miss it. I want it back.
Of course. You're still fucking gorgeous. You're like an absolutely stunning woman.
Thank you.
You are.
Okay, check in the post. But so it's just like, it's when I think back at like all of the stuff, and I'm just like, it's so crazy. Like, my job was just basically like being pretty. Like,
just
I wasn't
beautiful.
a glorified coat hanger. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't one of those models that like actually had a purpose. Like, I'm here modeling these clothes. It's like, I'm modeling my naked body. This is me. This is my face. And
I mean, that does serve a purpose, though. People do want it, and it is like, It is sort of selling a product, but the product is you.
Yeah, but that's just like,
Which
when
is
I
the
think back
different-
at it, I'm like, it is actually mad that I did that for 10 years. Like, just got up every day, like, put your makeup on, and that's that. And it's just like, it is weird. And then, like, when I went into my sports career, it was like a massive wake-up call. Like, oh, shit. Like, I've had it easy. Like, now I've really got to work hard to prove to people that I'm not just a pretty face, that I do know what I'm talking about and stuff. So, and then back in those days, like when I was going into sport, it was still sort of the times where it was very much like, oh, the Sky Sports presenters like all had the same sort of colour, length hair, and like, you know, the loose curls, and it was like the tight dresses, and, you know, obviously they know their stuff, but it was very much about like, people wanted the pretty girl and stuff like that. And now I feel like it's almost gone like completely the other way, and everybody just wants like not so much like the big hair and glam, just a bit more like relaxed
and real, and just knows what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like gone a bit more like that. So yeah, it's interesting.
What made that transition? So 10 years of doing the glamour modeling, and then you went over to sports and did like sports like presenting. So how was that transition made? At what point did you go, I am done? Was it a slow transition, or was it like I'm done, I'm moving on to this, or
kind of
how was
I'm
that?
done.
You're
like,
done.
Yeah.
You just had it.
Well, so 10 years is a long time, and I just think, how many different ways can I get the same pair of tits out? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm bored of them now. Like, surely.
Yeah,
and then I was just like, yeah. So I don't know. I just think like all the lab mags were going, like the industry was going down, and then the like websites were coming about, so like the early OnlyFans, but it's like everybody was having their own like content and stuff like that, and I just thought, God, that sounds like ball ache. I can't be asked for that. Like,
to be doing it.
And I was like, do you know what? I think it's time to go into like my real passion, because I was already doing things with sport and doing like little bits of presenting here and there, and I was like, nah, this is what drives me and what I love, so I want to go into this. And yeah, it took some like doing and convincing though, because people were just like,
they just
a glamour model. Like, what are you doing here? Yeah.
Did you not get opportunities because of it? Because people are like, no, we're not taking you seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I still feel like sometimes I have that now.
Really?
To fight up against. And
yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
People judging you.
I proved people wrong, and you know, people took me seriously, and I'd just got the level of respect I felt, and then I did Married at First Sight, and now I feel like it's gone.
Do you think that took away like your legitimacy?
Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Because is it just because people go, oh, well, she's not really here for this, she just wants to be on TV in any capacity she can?
Yeah, exactly that.
Right, okay.
Which is like so not the truth of it.
Did you apply to Married at First Sight, or did they come to you?
I applied.
You applied?
Yeah. Gina sent me the link actually, because I was
Of course she did.
I was having like a right old moan. Like, I'm so single. It's lockdown. I'm in Cornwall. I can't date anyone here. I'm probably related to everyone. And I was just having like a massive meltdown.
Yeah.
And I was like, God's sake, like, isn't there just something like somebody could just find me a husband or something? And then she's like, well, there's Married at First Sight. And I'd never even heard of it. And I was like, is that the one when there was like a couple on the radio or something? And I remember like watching, I think they like filmed it themselves, and it was like a documentary or something. Like, she was an ex-model, and I think it was even something to do with Jeremy Kyle. Like, I think he married them on radio or something. Okay. But I specifically remember, and it was like them just like filming each other, and like sort of like Big Brother diary room sort of style thing about like they've just met, they've got married, and like they lived together in an apartment for a month. And I was like, I would love that. And I remember being like 13, 14 and being like, I think that's how I'm going to marry somebody. And then it's just weird, isn't it? So like I thought that then, and then it's like, oh, it took 2 decades or whatever to like manifest itself. But like then it did happen, and it's just weird. But like all those synchronicities and stuff, there were so many things, and I was just like, this is it. Like this is it. This is going to be my person, which is why I was just like so fully invested in it. And it's so shit that didn't work out, but
and now
cry me a river.
So now you feel like people aren't taking you as seriously in the sports arena, sort of in that sort of realm. What's the plan though to come back from that? Are you just going to start? Because now it's like the era of like TikTok and everything, so it's like you own your own stuff, and you're really good at putting out online content, and you're really good at putting stuff out there, and you do have a good following.
I was like, when it was lockdown, I was just like putting out loads of content.
Well, so was everyone, because you had nothing else to do. So
but
everyone
now
was like,
I just feel like, I don't know, I've just sort of like
It's exhausting.
Yeah, I've just lost my buzz for it. I really want to start doing the Spice Report as well again, but it just takes me like a week to prepare for it, like researching all the stories,
Of
getting
course,
the
yeah.
clips, and then it's just long.
If you ever want to do it, you never need a comedy writer to spice up your scripts. I can help you out with that.
Well, I do have a little comedy section in it, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you want to have
I don't know
a couple
anything about sports, though. So I would
yeah.
have to be like the go team. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Just have like a little rant about it, but...
All I know is my boyfriend says I'm a Spurs fan now because he's a Spurs fan, so that's our team. I know, you know what's funny? So he got me...
He must be good looking. Do you know why?
He is,
like,
he's cute.
Yeah.
Didn't you see him last night?
No.
He's a cutie. He was at the show. Gina was
Every
talking to him.
Spurs fan is good looking, and it's sickening. I hate it.
Yeah, he's hot. I love
Like,
him.
if there's a hot guy, I'm like, oh, must be a Spurs fan. Get away from me. Yeah.
He got me, I called it a jersey, but apparently it's not a jersey, it's a top.
Shirt.
Or whatever. He
Yeah.
got me a Spurs shirt, and then he got me my name on the back, and a comedian who's an Arsenal fan or whatever. We were all backstage at the Comedy Store, and the comedian's like, he did what? I'm like, he got me a Spurs shirt with my name on it. He goes, he should have just fucked your friend. That would have been nicer.
I tend to agree.
Right? What team is your team?
Chelsea.
Chelsea's
Yeah,
yours. Okay.
we're like, we're not doing...
The Spurs aren't that
amazing
great,
at
right?
it.
Isn't the whole thing like Spursy? Like they always fuck it up. Is sort of in
they
the
bottle
last.
it.
They
Yeah.
always do it, right? So, you know, I love an underdog.
See, you
so.
say you don't know anything about sport.
No, I know.
You're giving all the anecdotes. Yeah, I'm here for it.
I know very few things about it. It's mostly from him. All I know is that they just fuck it up every chance they get. But they're my team now, I suppose. I've never seen a game live. I really want to go to a football match live.
Oh my God, well, if it's not Spurs, I'll go to one with you. But I don't want to sit there and watch Spurs.
No, I really, really want to
Rather paint
go.
myself in the eye.
Oh my God. So you talked about, the pretty privilege you think has been the biggest thing that's changed in your life. Give me an example of like what benefits did you get with pretty privilege?
Oh my God, it was so crazy. So like when I was doing the Babe channels and stuff, you'd get people phoning up just being like, can I buy a pair of Louboutins? And you'd be like, is this real? Like,
Would you say yes?
And then the other girls would be like, oh, is that so? Yeah, he sent me 3 pairs. And I'm like, yes, I'm size 3.5. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're size 3.5?
Yeah, 3.5.
Do you have little doll feet?
Apparently.
What? Oh my God. I have
don't know why I
a
don't topple
giant. Yeah, no kidding. You're like on these little point. That's so cute. You must look like a little deer walking. Oh my God, 3.5. But so he would legitimately send you shit and people would send you stuff.
Yeah, so I had like shoes bought for me. Somebody bought me a Chanel handbag. And I'm just like, this is crazy. But like, I never
Is it
felt...
too late for me to be a glamour
I
model?
never felt like I felt bad. I was like, are you sure? Like, really? Like, what? And you don't want anything? Like, what? And they're like, no,
they
I
want
just,
nothing. They just want to buy pretty girls things.
Because they want to then like see you out and about using that handbag and be like, I bought her that handbag. Like, it's like that sense of...
It's like this financial
it's like
power.
Empowerment
Do you
thing for them.
know what a findom is?
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah, so like findom has become really, really popular. I see girls doing it, and they just like literally yell at men and be like, "Give me fucking money."
I know.
And then
I
men are like,
used to do a bit of that, and I
you?
really enjoyed it because like I've got anger issues, and I should
Yeah.
get my anger issues out and get
Be
some
angry,
cool shit.
take money away from a man. Hello,
But you do get a lot of time wasters. That is one of the things.
Of course.
But yeah, so that was like a wild part of it, and then obviously
What's the most expensive thing someone bought you?
a $4,000 Chanel bag. Yeah.
So jealous.
Do you know what? But I still have everything. Like I will not ever, because I'm just like, I'm never gonna get that again. I'm not spending $4,000 on a bloody bag.
Do you want to hear something
That's
crazy? Well, Chanel bags have gone up now. They're way more expensive. They keep doing price increases every year. Like a medium double flap Chanel classic lambskin bag. Not that I know this much about them, but I do. They're like 10,000 pounds now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so
got
you
the
could
large
actually
one.
you could resell that if it's in good shape for quite a bit of money.
I mean, I have had it like over 10 years. And
Well,
it's
you never
a little
know.
bit battered.
But I was at a gig the other day, and there was a girl in the front row, and she said her specialty was she was in the resale market for high-end luxury goods. I'm like, what kind of stuff are you talking about? She goes, sometimes like things like engagement rings, but a lot of times it's designer bags, it's just designer items, watches, those types of things. And she was saying one of the biggest things they get is the sugar babies. So all the girls who have had stuff bought for them, they resell through her. So she's like a broker of their shit. But a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, she said, they're fake.
Really?
So she's like, if they give you the money and they're like, go buy this with it, or they'll take you to the store and buy it for you there. That's different, right? But sometimes they'll send them the bag and it's like from DHgate and it's a fake. And then she has to be like,
I always pick them up at the store, so I know all of mine are real.
Yeah. So that's legit. But
Mama
some
didn't
people,
raise my fool.
no, yes, get them from the store, girl. Take me to the Chanel store. Plus, like, I want the experience of going to the Chanel store and picking it out.
Send me a voucher and I will go and get it myself.
If anyone is listening.
Also, I don't want somebody coming with me. Like, ew.
Right? No,
like, people would have thought, what's going on there? I'm not shagging him. Trust me. Nobody would believe you, though. Do you know what I mean?
No, everyone would think you're fucking him. There's no way you see some hot girl walk in with some old gross guy and he's buying her Chanel bag. You're not like, oh my God, he must have a great personality. Yeah. Like, fuck that. No.
I was like, yeah, you can just send me the voucher and I'll go and get it myself. Thanks.
Do you think you'd ever do that? Would you ever get in a gold digger relationship where it's just purely where he just went, you're hot, I just want to be with you, I want a trophy wife, just be my wife, I'll buy you everything you want. No, you're too much of a love.
If I didn't have to have sex with him.
No, you have to.
Like, if I could be in love and have sex with somebody else, yes.
You can have sex with other people, but you have to also have sex with him in a contract twice a week and give him one blowjob a week.
No, I couldn't.
No, because that's like prostitution. Yeah. I mean, let's be for real. That's sex work.
Well, yeah, but I just, like, no, I have to be attracted to somebody to sleep with them.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on that.
Unless it's a, like, fuck buddy and it's, like...
Just cleaning out the pipes.
They just annoy you and they're like, you just have like an angry fuck. Like, okay, whatever.
I can picture you rolling your eyes. So like straddling some guy and be like, oh, come on, let's fucking go. And just like your eyes are rolling back and you're on your phone making brunch plans. Like you're just like zero fucks given about that. I can see that and I love it for you. But if anyone is listening who wants to buy us 2 medium lambskin, double flap, Chanel classic black with the gold hardware, obviously, bag, we will take 2 of them.
Yeah, or take me on holiday. I've not had a holiday since my honeymoon, so.
Or take me on a holiday. Where did you go on your honeymoon?
Help me, I'm poor.
Yeah, oh my God, that is me. Help me, I'm poor. That is me. Where'd you go on your honeymoon?
Went to Mexico.
Mexico, that's fun. Mexico's a fun place.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, okay, so of this pretty privilege and how it's changed you, like what do you think? Like, now looking back, you realize what you got. Do you treat people differently now because you see... like how you were treated before? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, so like for me, I didn't even realize it was like pretty privileged until like I watched How to Be Single.
What's How to Be Single?
That film. And then like...
who's in that? I don't know.
Amy is she called it? No, not...
Oh, was it... Wait, is it Rebel Wilson?
Yeah,
Rebel Wilson. Yes,
right?
yes, I've seen that.
So she's in it and she's like... then meets like Emily Radrowski or whatever she's called in the gym, and she's just like, oh my God, like you're so pretty, like, oh, I bet you go on holiday and then like random guys just rock up and ask you on their yacht and stuff. She's like, yeah, and like all of that, like she's like, oh my God, does that shit really happen? And then I was with like one of my friends and I was like, what, that's never happened to you? They're like, no, Amy, that's never happened to me. And I was like, what? I was like, oh shit.
Has that happened to you where someone is like, come party on my yacht? Oh my God.
Like genuine, like when I was a glamour model and me and my friends would go on holiday, like every single time.
Oh,
and like I would be out in a club and then they'd be like, what are you doing tomorrow? Do you want to fly out to so-and-so and whatever? We were like, yeah, cool.
Were you
like,
ever afraid? Ever
yeah,
afraid?
I mean, like
but in
now
some dodgy
looking back,
situations.
I'm like, what a fucking idiot I was. Like, I just met these guys in a club, and the next minute they're flying me out to fucking Ibiza. Like, what the fuck? Like, but luckily, I was always okay. But you know what? I think because like some of my friends were like prettier and skinnier than me, so they kind of like. They got the attention and I was just like the loud funny one. So I was just like, cool. Like, they're not going to touch me because I got a big mouth. And also a little bit aggressive. Like,
yes, we get that.
So I remember like when I was in Ibiza, like this like tall, gorgeous model, Luciano. And I literally... everybody was downstairs having breakfast or whatever, and this was like on one of these random trips where we all just got flown out to Ibiza, stayed in a massive mansion and whatever. And then like I think he came in and like maybe tried it on with, or he was in my room being creepy or whatever. And I remember like running out of the thing with a chair, being like, fuck that, like literally screaming and shut the chair. And then everyone was like, oh shit, like, and then that was it. Like
no one's gonna fuck with you.
Yeah, no one's gonna fuck with me. Yeah,
I love that. Give me so you did that. Obviously, you very much have developed like this personality of being like, I think you're hilarious, and like,
thank you. I tell people that I'm funny. And
you
like,
are funny. You are really funny, and like you're such a character. That's the thing. But then you transition into the sports stuff. Do you have crazy stories from that of like from your TV presenting and stuff? Like of the
so
same?
Like I've got. So it's
because
really
you're still a
weird.
gorgeous woman, and now you're around all these men in sports. Because just like comedy, it's a very male-dominated industry.
Also, it's like almost made me go like anti-pretty privilege. Like,
right, of course.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I
it's
get
like
that.
I've done like a whole like 360 on it.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, I'm like, I've turned into like quite a feminist, and I'm just like,
that's good.
no, appreciate me for my brain, not my tits, like, you know, all of that sort of stuff. And like, I remember interviewing a famous footballer. Well, yeah, they're all famous, but he was like a particular legend.
Yeah.
Perhaps of the team that your boyfriend supports, and you apparently support now too.
Yes.
Also Manchester United. Anyway, and I remember I'd interviewed him a couple of times. First time he was so rude to me. He was just like, "Oh yeah, 2 sugars," and I was like, "I'm here to interview you." Like, I'm not on work experience, mate. And I was just like, "Okay, fine." So I went and got him like this cup of tea. Put
You
it down
did it?
there. Yeah, and I was just like, "Oh, he obviously thinks I'm a runner or something." And then I like sat down, and then he was like, "Oh right, yeah, we're getting started then." Oh, and then like, "Oh, where is he?" And I was like, "Oh, it's me. I'm interviewing you." And he's like, oh, sorry, like blah, 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 and whatever.
Yeah.
And then the second time I met him to interview him,
Did he
said
remember
hello.
you?
Well, I don't think so.
Right.
But yeah, he was a bit of a knob, so he's not going to remember somebody. But anyway, and then he like went in, and you know when somebody like lingers a little bit too much?
Yes.
And he was like, "Oh, you smell lovely." And I went, "Oh, thanks, it's Ben Halligan's if you want to buy it for your wife." I was just like, sit the fuck down, let's get on with this interview, like, ugh. And they're just like, do you know what I mean? But I'm like, oh.
Just like a dirtbag.
Yeah, and I'm just like, how did I put up with men like that? Like,
For years.
For years in my glamour days. And I was just like, oh, this is fun. Like, oh yeah, like, this is my life. I'm just pretty and this is what happens and like, whatever. And now I'm like, God, what's that existence? Like, it's actually crazy, like, how it's done a 360. But there's like another story where it was like my transition period from going from like glamour model into sports presenter. So one of my friends was associating with a very famous poker star that's a bit of a playboy. Like, he does like wild things and like chucks people off roofs and stuff. He's a bit crazy.
He's a poker. Okay, firstly, poker's not a sport, but
well,
like,
apparently it is.
Is it though? Is it actually a sport? But like, okay, so a poker player who chucks people off buildings.
Yeah.
How? I don't like with parachutes on.
No.
No, wait, what?
Yeah, he's just like, he does a lot of wild things. So anyway, one of my friends, so I was like, right, like, I need people to take me seriously. So why I thought this was going to be a good idea, I don't know. But I was like, hey, I've got a link to like, you know, one of the world's most famous poker players. Like, I've spoken to his people. I've got some interview time. I'll interview him. Like, you know, I think I went to like Sport Bible or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, all over it, wicked. So anyway, so then I'm chatting to, oh, Nelly said his name then. I was chatting to
this person,
poker player.
This poker player.
And he's chatting and he was like, oh, well, yeah, great. Why don't you grab some girlfriends and like come make a weekend of it? Because I was just like, oh, when are you next in London? Like, you know, I'll book out some like studio time, get this down and whatever.
Trying to be a professional interviewer.
Literally.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, well, I'm in Sveti Stefan for the weekend. Like, why don't you girls just fly out? I'm not sure when I'm going to be in London again. I'll send my private jet for you. I was like straight on the WhatsApp group. Hi girls, what are you doing this weekend? Want to go on a private jet?
Wait.
But I've actually been on a private jet 5 times.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my God, I'm so jealous.
It's actually not very comfortable though.
Is it not?
No, I'm afraid of flying and they're like very like...
Right, because the smaller the plane is, the more you feel turbulence and stuff like that.
Oh my God, and we actually flipped it 360. I've got a video on my phone.
No.
And then on the way back, he let me press the button to 360 it. It was sick. Like, that is like so sick. Yeah.
I mean, that's cool. But so
that's probably like my top pretty privilege.
That is crazy. Come here, press the button in the cockpit. Like, that's wild.
Oh, it was so good.
But like, so you're like, hi, I want to interview this person. He's a world famous poker star. He's a little bit crazy. And then his response to like you trying to be like, let's do a professional interview was like, I'll send my jet. You can bring some girlfriends. Let's fucking party.
Yeah,
so obviously his mind is not on like a professional interview.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, you know, it is about the interview. And then he sent me a message and said, would you mind sending me some pictures? And I was like, of what? Like, and then basically I was like, oh, okay, like,
what did you
shot.
say
like,
of what?
So I sent a group shot and he goes, no, I'm going to need to see your vaginas. And I was like, what? messaging my girls like, hi, babe.
Wait, he wanted to see not just yours, but everyone's vagina who was coming to like inspect them before he sent his plane.
Yeah. And I was just like, how am I gonna like? In what world are we gonna go into?
And if he didn't
chat? Like, hey girls, no, we've been friends a while, but do you want to send me a vagina? Like, absolutely not. They're not gonna do that.
And what was he gonna be like? Okay, yes, no, maybe, yes,
like, do you
no.
want to see their faces or like, yeah? So I was just like, ugh.
Could you imagine
this
how?
is how
Oh
this
my
guy
God.
operates? And I was just like,
Oh my God.
At that point, I was like, I don't think I want to go. This
But
is a bit
imagine if you
weird.
sent him a picture of your vagina and he goes, actually, no. How? Why? Like how much?
I don't think he would.
How
personally,
heartbreaking.
but-
I mean, no, obviously you're a queen, but like if that happened, like that's heartbreaking.
Yeah. So I was just
That's
like,
also really messed up.
So I just said, I said, have you got the wrong number? Because I'm coming over to do the interview. I said, I think you've sent this to the wrong chat.
Oh my God. So you're still trying to save him. You're trying to help him help himself here.
And then he went, oh, I'm so sorry. I totally did. And I was like, no, you didn't. You've just been called out. But I'm just letting you know, honey, that is not on.
Okay.
And that is not happening. So, yeah.
He obviously didn't because you'd sent him pictures of you. He was trying
it.
And then what happened when so then you get you and your girls are out there, interview's gonna start.
Yeah, so we arrive and then he's like, we go up to like his room and I'm like, oh my God, like we're all like, okay. He's literally just sat there on his phone. Doesn't even look at us. We're all just like sat around like looking at each other like, what?
So awkward.
And I'm like, should we do the interview now? And then it's like, oh, I'm just going to use your bathroom a second.
Yeah.
Went into the bathroom. There was like, on the countertop, every pharmaceutical, like, antidepressants you could ever name.
Just like a million pills everywhere.
Like, loads of pills everywhere. And I was just like, oh, crap. Like, so then I just came out and just like, subtly said, like, I was like, hey, you know you do all these like wild things and like whatever. I was like, do you think you're trying to like build up like the adrenaline? Like you're addicted to the rush because you want to feel alive.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh no, I said like, yeah, why do you do these like life-threatening things?
Yeah.
Like, you know, is it to feel the rush and like you want to feel alive? And he goes, no, I'm just generally trying to kill myself. And I was like, okay. And then his lawyer came straight in and was like, okay, right, this isn't the interview. No, okay, no, you can't do the interview. Like, that's it. You can't write that, blah, blah, blah.
Wow.
And I was just like, holy shit. And I was just
what
like,
was his demeanor like when he was?
I was just saying it out of genuine concern. Like,
yeah,
I'm just interested.
Well, you go into
he's
somebody's
a very
bathroom.
interesting, like, character.
And
you're
there's
like,
pills everywhere.
Yeah,
I would be like, what, are you okay?
yeah, I like getting into the psyche of, like, why people are the way they are and things like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was,
yeah.
like, thinking, like, this isn't even going to be part of the interview. Like, I'm just genuinely are you okay?
Of course, you
Do
just
know
saw
what I
all these pills. But obviously, like, I actually think the connection you made is probably, I mean, yeah, if he's trying to kill himself, that would, like, I can't even fathom it.
I mean, I think he just said it as a flippant comment. I don't know.
Right.
But
Still, no, but I'm saying he still has all these pills all over his counter. He's still doing all these reckless things. He's still flying random girls and ordering,
more of sound
asking
mind
for.
now. I don't think he's doing reckless stuff anymore. He might even be sold. I don't know. But yeah, it was just a bit wild.
So you never got the interview.
I never got the interview.
The lawyer
and
was
then
like,
they were like,
no.
Yeah. So basically, then the next morning, like, the lawyer came round and just, like, handed us some cash.
How much cash are we talking? Like a few £1,000s or something?
I don't know. I can't really remember.
Enough to party.
Yeah, he was
Enough
just
to,
like,
have a
he was
good
just
week
like,
or whatever.
oh, like, I don't think it was that much in cash. And then he just said basically, like, on the whole resort, like, you know, just tell them who you're with and, like, you don't have to pay for anything or whatever. But, like, here's some, like, spending money or whatever. And I was like, oh, why are you giving me this?
Yeah.
And I was like, he goes, oh, I just want you girls to have a good weekend, but the interview's off. And I was like, oh, that's why I've come here. Like, because I'm just thinking about my career now.
Of course.
Okay, like, great, yeah, like, I can party and whatever, but I was like, I'm not back in those days where I used to fly to Ibiza, Dubai, or like here, there, and everywhere.
You're like, I'm serious here.
I'm here. I need this interview because I want to go back and, like, you know, get an exclusive. Like, because as far as I was aware at that point, nobody had ever had an exclusive with him like that. So, and I was going to get deep. So I'm just genuinely gutted at this point. And my friends are like, fuck it, let's go to the casino. Let's go do this. There's so many shops on here and whatever. And I was just like, oh, my career.
That sucks.
And I was just like, that's so shitty. And then, and then they were just like, oh, yeah, and like, you won't be seeing, what's his name?
Yeah.
Like, whatever. So we did see him a couple more times on the thing, and he was just like, hey girls. And we were just like, actually, like, he's not the wild person that like people made out. Like, he was just there and we were just sitting like eating beef burgers like in silence, and it was just so awkward. And I'm like, well, this guy's wild. Like, what?
I think a lot of people who have that reputation of being like wild and crazy, often one, they're trying to like fulfill something or make it seem to other people that they have this wild and crazy
like
life.
We were saying about the whole like, oh, I want the big engagement ring. I want this. So like, it's all for everybody else.
It's for everyone else. And deep down,
you're
miserable. Like sometimes you can see like the biggest like comedians. I gig with some of these guys, and we'll be at clubs, and they're the ones who are the quietest, most low key in a green room, and they're just like being like, "Hey man, what's up?" And they're just so awkward. But on social media, they're like, "Hey, blah blah blah." But it's all a show. It's all an act.
It's all a facade.
It is all a facade, which is just like, to me, it like is. It's just that kind of stuff is fascinating. What a weird experience to have that person who will not be named, who's a big poker star, who did a lot of crazy things. Put it together, people. Put it together yourself.
I can't get sued because I haven't mentioned the name.
No, you haven't mentioned the name. So, okay, wow. I feel like you've lived, oh my God, I just want to keep talking to you because you've just like lived a life. You've lived like such a crazy life. What, for you, because your career and everything, and you transition into like sports and doing all of this stuff, your ideal job of like, if you could paint your dream job right now, what would it be?
Okay, so there's a few. So I'm genuinely gutted that Soccer AM is going, but I would love to host my own sort of like glossy magazine style show, like short format thing, maybe on digital. Just having.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you make it happen?
Well, yeah, if anybody's listening, let's make it happen.
We know some comedy producers.
Yeah. So yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah. Also, my dream is to be on Sky Sports on deadline day, reporting outside Stamford Bridge or Cobham.
Let's put this out into the universe.
That would be so sick.
That this will happen for you.
You don't even have to hire me all year. Like, literally just hire me for that one day. Please just let my dream come true. That would be so amazing. And like, I don't even mind doing it in the January window. It's going to be freezing.
You'll be up
I'll
for
do
it.
I'll just wear like the
You're
Arsene
a
Wenger
hardy
coat,
girl from Cornwall.
Which is not Wales.
Which is not Wales, and you can do it. Let me ask you something. So, I mean, you have gone through a lot of shit in your life. What is something that you hope never changes in your life?
My ability to throw myself into things like I've never been hurt.
That is a very good quality. And that's something that I think is exceptionally rare.
But also maybe a bit stupid.
No, you know what? I think that's a very good quality. And I think if you're able, for someone, getting jaded is easy. It is easy to become jaded and become skeptical of people. It is a lot harder to continue to open yourself up and be vulnerable and put yourself in those situations. To me, that takes a lot more bravery. It's a lot riskier. And yes, you can get hurt a lot harder, but the payoff will be so much greater if you're willing to be that person. Honestly, I really believe that. I believe it is coming because I think you have such a beautiful, positive energy about you. And you're a gorgeous person. I know you don't think you have your pretty privilege anymore, but you still fucking do because you're absolutely hot as fuck. And yeah, I just wish you like all the best and nothing but the best. And I do really want you back on Married at First Sight with a new person. Yes. I would love that. Can we just put it out there? Who are the people who do it over here again? There's like, who are the three, not the judges, I want to say judges, the therapists or whatever?
Paul Bronson.
Paul, I love Paul.
I love Paul.
He seems like a genuinely like the nicest human in the world.
So even now, like,
Paul, Melanie.
Mel Schilling and then Charlene Douglas.
Right, okay, yeah. They all seem genuinely like just really smart, lovely people.
They're so lovely. And I can message like any one of them, like, but I do message Paul quite a lot, being like, hey, so like, look, I've been seeing this guy for like a month, like, he's like doing this, and like, what's your overall? And he's like, well, if you think it's not going to work now, I wouldn't go any deeper, blah, blah, blah.
Do you actually message him that?
He's genuinely like, he's still like my relationship mentor.
And he's based in Australia, right?
No, he's over here now.
He's over here?
Yeah.
Paul, come on the podcast. What are you doing,
oh my
buddy?
God, he would love
come
it.
on the podcast, Paul. I love you. That is really fucking cool. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. Bye. And listening.